I'm going to critique this property in Mykonos. So if you decide to buy a vacation home, design one, or build one for yourself, you won't make the same mistakes. I'm the How to Buy Mansion guy. My name is Arvin, Haddad. Let's watch this one together.
Today we're in Mykonos, Greece, exploring Amisa Villa, a beautiful home that blends seamlessly with the island's rugged landscape. With brutalist design and natural elements sourced here, it is absolutely breathtaking. There are so many unexpected moments in this home, and we're so excited to show you guys around. Right from the entrance, you can feel the weight.
You can feel that there's nothing here. You're in the middle of nowhere. I get this whole brutalist design where you kind of create a sensory deprivation before you release it, okay? But we could have had a plant, like something. This looks like a freaking Saddam Hussein's like bunker by Halabja. You know, like it give me something. Give me a little bit of something to work with.
It's bold, it's raw, it's minimal. It's a perfect example of modern brutalist design. That was done by Praxitelis, Kondylis, and his team at A31 Studios.
Praxitelis, Kondylis. That's a good Greek name. Praxitelis, Kondylis.
And you'll notice behind me this concrete wall that's exposed. The indentations on the wall, giving it a little bit more texture and decorative look. That's actually done by a famous architect in Japan, Tadao Ando, where they actually take the rebar out of the concrete during its formation process, and it leaves this really cool indentation and print on the wall.
Dude, what are you talking about? Everyone does that. What's so special about this one? That's just the rebar to hold the frame. I don't get it.
Dry stack stone that you see on the retaining walls were just blended into this hill. Blending in again is the top-down view of this home.
Okay, let's talk about the facade. There's something missing. Look, just because you go minimalistic doesn't mean it's going to completely like disappear into nature. Like we can see the wall, right? This is not like natural occurring element, right? It still looks like a house. There's a door there, you know, it blends in some so what, but you can see the white wall, right? So what do you put when you want to keep it minimalistic? It's really important that if you introduce something, there's like a singular element. Otherwise, to me, it looks unfinished. I think it should be minimalistic, but it still give an ambiance and an element, right? It could be an art piece. It could be a statue. You put something in front to let everybody know that you're finished with the project.
You'll notice all the topography just blending into this hill. And they actually built with the land rather on top of it. So I always love those subtle design choices when architects decide to build with versus against. So you'll notice the curvature pushing around the home, cantilevering almost over this hillside. It's beautiful. And then above, you'll almost notice this fingerprint-like texture on the ceiling. And that was actually printed in and stamped to mimic wood.
What are you Are you clueless? No. They just used wood planks to frame the freaking pour of the concrete, and it leaves its print. They didn't. Oh my God.
It's beautiful. I mean, the views everywhere you look is raw, rugged, and it follows that same texture as we go up these steps and into the home. So this home sits with just under 10,000 square feet. We have 6 bedrooms, all with their own en-suites, a staff quarters, and 10 bathrooms, with 2 of those bedrooms having their own private pools. So there's actually 3 pools in total. But again, as you're hosting here, as you will, as this home was actually made for that reason, you can actually get away and separate yourself from the rest of the gathering that's hosted here. And they did an incredible job of making this brutalistic home also feel like a home where you can gather.
Okay, I'm disappointed with the wow factor. You had all this approach and you didn't center me to the view, you centered me to the column. That's disappointing. I love the width of the foyer. I think the height is okay considering they're trying to blend in with the nature and everything. But at the core of it, you didn't give me that release.
But now stepping out, notice the curvilinear line just opening back up, framing the Mediterranean Sea with Elia Beach just at the base. And from these chairs that are suspended with that sculptural feel that these have following the curvilinear lines of this home. You can actually see the islands of Paros and Naxos.
Okay, Paros is probably my favorite island. I really, really had a great time in Paros. But those chairs are really annoying. They're completely at the wrong place. Like, it really cheaps out what you're trying to do with this whole minimalistic, brutalist architecture. At the wrong location, too much of a focal point, you're blocking the view, and they don't even look that nice. And it's been there, done that. It's like nothing innovative, nothing cool. If you were to like carve out a seat from some sort of a rock that you placed, something interesting that would have really complemented the kind of a no-try look, or like the nature look, would have been way cooler than the, hanging chair that everyone has in their even college dormitories right now.
Plenty of space for lounging and tanning. We have an outdoor kitchen area with a full dining table with an outdoor shower to rinse off from whether you're down at the sea or here in this infinity edge pool.
So less so far. Are you guys feeling it? I'm not feeling it, guys. Like, I was very, very excited, and this is the first look. Recently, I'm doing all first looks throughout the whole main channel because I feel like you guys like it more. It's more natural, and you see my first time reaction. I'm not feeling it. It just looks like they're cheaping it out in the name of going brutalist and minimalistic and not giving me vibe. You still got to give me vibe, right? Like, and how much concrete are you going to use? How about all these natural stones that you see everywhere? There's like walls. Like, you see how these old school like property lines, they've separated the property with these like natural stones and walls. Why can't you introduce that as an accent? It's like concrete floor, concrete wall, and concrete ceiling. A little too much. And concrete hardscaping outside by the pool.
Following this retaining wall is this concrete formation, which can be used as a bench, a place to sit back, relax, chat with your friends who are hanging out here on this modular couch. And I love that you can create different little moments.
I don't think it's a couch. It's more of a, make sure the kids don't fall on their butt, or some sort of a barrier blocking you from sudden death falling from the other side, right?
Stepping up, you'll notice that this follows the entire exterior of this wall on this side of the home. And just this tall glass. Everything is meant just to push you and direct you to these views.
See, this is really funny because they keep showing the B-roll of the, bird eye view. You know why? Because it's getting boring inside. It really is. And this house only looks cool from the exterior so far. And I can tell you, they're going to keep showing B-rolls because this is a cool look that you will never see if you buy this property or rent it for that matter. You will never see it from here. And that's one of the things that like I'm getting like this vibe that this architect just went for this design that would only look cool from a drone and not really look cool from the inside. So again, I'm really suspicious of this, but let's see if it's actually like that.
But now here in the formal dining area, we have seating for 8. We have these asymmetrical brass fixtures with these globe warm tips that you see on the end, warming this space back up, but also bringing balance.
Is this warm to you guys? Raise your hand if you think this is warm. This is as cold as it gets. And what is this, like cat furniture? On the left? Even cats won't come inside this. Cats would be like, this is not inside, this is outside. This is too much, guys, too much. You're literally in a bunker. Give me at least one wall of a different material and you will get by. Like, give me that natural stone somewhere. Otherwise, this is like a bunker. Just because you put a cool light fixture and questionable chairs and a dining table and a blue minimalistic art doesn't make it cool.
And here on this set of stairs, you'll notice the warm glow on this staircase leading you to the lower level.
With no handrails? Are you serious? This is dangerous, guys. No drinking. You're not allowed to drink. They better not put a bar in this.
Like you're floating as you go down into the wine room, the gym, and multiple rooms we'll get to. But again, not to interrupt your views, a straight shot just picture framing the Aegean Sea and those 2 islands we spoke about earlier. It's stunning. Now here in the formal living room, we have multiple pieces by Tom Dixon. Starting right here, we have this curved, warped mirror.
Dude, this is a caucus of a house. There's nothing. You're just giving me concrete box and decorating it with furniture. And let me guess, you want like 15 million euros for this probably. With views that are like maybe 20% ocean and the rest bare mountain. This is questionable. Really, really questionable, guys. I'm not liking this at all. It is so cold. You can do minimal. I'm not against minimalistic design, okay? It's one wall, one ceiling, one floor, too many, right? Too many, too much concrete. If you had just contrasted with one element, okay, you would have achieved exactly what you wanted it. You would have still got that minimalistic look. You know, this is horrible. Like, this takes the joy of life out of everything.
Another piece, the perforated metal, all the lighting, and as you move around it and interact with it, it sparkles.
Yeah, I love how that's the only thing you can talk about, because everything else is just concrete. You have furniture and that's it. There's no finishes in this house.
And you'll notice those indentations on the wall once again. I mean, this home, many people will say there's not a lot of character because it's a brutalist design. But you'll notice with these indentations,
each one is a little different, right? Let me guess. like this one is like, oh, this one is not a full circle. Dude, whatever makes you happy, boy, just say it. It's fine.
This home invites you to wander around it and explore it as light moves and interacts with the space throughout the day.
Dude, light moves everywhere. You don't have to be in a concrete box.
Now here on this L-shaped couch, it's very plush, it's low profile. It just invites you to hang out and to stay a while and look and enjoy these views. We have this overlapping coffee table behind me on this warm organic rug.
He has nothing else to talk about. All he's talking about is rugs and coffee tables. He's like, I ran out. I talked about the rebars in the concrete, the wood panels on the ceiling. I didn't even know what they were really used for or how they did it. And now he's just talking about furniture.
Now stepping across, get another look at how it's just curved and how you move with the property and interact with it. This concrete cylindric pillar and a big moment over here. But first I want to talk about this Italian marble slab. This is beautiful, and it's actually one of the only pieces in the home that wasn't sourced here on the island.
And the only other thing that is not concrete, but it looks like concrete.
This is actually my favorite part in the entire home. I love what's coming next, but I absolutely love these fixtures. There's actually a ball inside the fixture, so when the wind comes in, these fixtures you'll actually see move.
Dude, they look like, you know, those metal trash cans. Was it Nickelodeon? This is really bad. This is a very poor kitchen. I don't know, like, now that they've introduced wood, the color of the wood they've chose is extremely dark, and it doesn't even blend in with the concrete or the counter. And then the curve of the counter is like, what are you doing? They like lost it somewhere along the plot, and they're just two people who were completely off the, you know, tangent, started talking to each other, and they just kind of went on their own tangent. They didn't bring someone from the outside to give them perspective, and this is what happens.
The appliances that are actually installed into the actual countertop are all Gagnaw. Everything is high-end Gagnaw.
So that's your Gagnaw cooktops. You got 6 bedrooms, and that's it, right? Horrible. Like no planning whatsoever for, hey, there's going to be a lot of people staying in this place. It's a pretty damn big, you know, vacation home, and you're supposed to feed, you know, possibly 4 different families from that cooktop.
You get the espresso built in, the oven built in, and of course, everything is smooth to the touch here on this wood. And if you want to open something, you just press it.
Okay, so it's just the color of the cabinet. It's even darker than walnut, which does not go with the color of concrete whatsoever. It contrasts in a not a harmonious way. But I'm still like amazed at the lack of actual elements you would need for a kitchen of the size of this house, because you would need a massive fridge, and I don't even think it has a big fridge.
We're gonna go into this room, but before we do, I'm gonna take everyone out to the kitchen really quick. So this outdoor kitchen is super accessible to the indoor kitchen. You'll also notice that little slit of light. So as the sun actually moves across the sky during the day, and even here on the dining table, it's intentionally simple.
Let's talk about the views. I give this view a 6. Hillside is extremely bare. Like it doesn't hold any type of vegetation. I really like how the lots are kind of divided by stone, and I wish they would have brought that element inside. Make that element, that one extra element next to concrete that will give character and warmth and make this place feel like a home and not a prison or a bunker. The view is what, 20% ocean? Very tight angle, 6 max.
Everything here in this space feels curated and again, very, very intentional and just so well done. But now we're actually gonna enter our very first bedroom here in this home. Notice more of those indentations and again, the light and how I'm talking earlier about the light and how it interacts with the day. You'll see all these lines just move.
Dude, what are you talking about? Like, we've never seen light through a window in our own house. Like, this is something unique to this property.
And some of these fixtures on the walls that you see also reflect an image on the wall, and it just plays so nicely. Here to my left, we have a large storage room, just blends into that wall. Now stepping into our first bedroom of 6.
Oh my God. What's up with these architects? We have a blocked off room. These, I swear to God, these brutalist architects. One idiot 50, 60 years ago designed a bedroom that had no window, like had a window to basically a light well. Maybe out of necessity for that location, or out of like pure desperation, or just experimentation, okay? And probably regretted it after. Now, sheep mentality, somebody saw it in a magazine. It's like, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this. Look, listen up to me. Do not, on a vacation property, okay, make a room that opens up to a light well when you didn't have to do that. Unless you have a family member who is mentally psychotic, right, and dangerous to the general public and is a liability to the whole island, okay? You can use this element where it's granted. If you want to create natural light, let's say it's a big property with a central location that doesn't have enough light, right? You want to create an internal courtyard, okay? You can do this void concept with natural light coming in. Do not put it in a freaking vacation home primary bedroom, okay? Don't. It's a bad idea.
We have more of that aluminum here on this door that is sourced here locally. You can open these doors up, just let that fresh air come down into the space. And you see those green vines that are just dropping down.
You know who I can think of? You know how Borat used to say, Biplo, my retarded brother?
My brother Bilo have a very funny retardation.
I think this is Biplo's room. Mentally challenged. I'm sorry. Whatever it's appropriate, okay? Socially, politically correct. You know what I mean.
On each side, we have a bedside table made of black granite. Again, another local choice. And then these really cool pendant lights on each respective side. Just cast a nice light against the wall.
If you find yourself attracted to this design, okay, I highly recommend you to see someone. I do. I really do, okay? Look, it might look cool in a magazine, but as a property that you actually live in, the person who's going to get this room is going to be really pissed because he signed up for an ocean view and you just locked the motherfucker up, okay? It's not okay.
So stepping in to our ensuite, we have this volcanic granite tile everywhere here in the space. Just a really cool, dark, cozy vibe. As you step around, notice the curvature of the tile goes even here into this walk-in shower. This is incredible.
Oh my God, we've got like brass. I feel alive. You just gave me brass and it just lit up a candle in my heart. This is cool. I think they've done this like this and its own looks cool as a like a cool bathroom. You see that what I'm saying? Just like one element really made that whole space work. And to me, it was the brass fixture. That brass fixture did all the talking because that you need something. That's what I'm telling you, right? You need something. You can go minimalist, but you got to have at least like a 10%, right? 15, 20% of some element that kind of is hope, right? It's the light in the room.
Now entering to the main living areas once again. I love this sight line as we push out. Just these fixtures, and then of course the Aegean Sea, and then all the rough, harsh landscape that we see around us on these mountains. It's beautiful. Now coming around, this is an entrance to the bedroom we're about to enter, our second bedroom during this tour. And then behind me we have a set of 2 bathrooms. So we have 2 water closets all behind this opaque glass, which is all corrugated, by the way, wrapped in that steel that we've seen throughout this tour. And then behind me, we have this terrazzo, not only in the floating vanity with the slot drains, but also beneath our feet.
Can you spot the flaw? I give you guys 3 seconds. I sometimes pause the frame and ask my subscribers to spot the flaw. I give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Horrible palette. Look at this palette. You have dark black aluminum for the bathroom doors. You have beautiful terrazzo sinks, floating sinks. And then you have brass frame for the mirror and fixtures. None of these three materials go with each other at all. It's so obvious when you deprive me of all my senses for the past 20 minutes that it screams at me this is off. And it tells me you didn't have the confidence or knew what type of finishes to bring to the rest of the space. That's why you left it blank. What would have worked really nice here instead of brass would have been copper. Copper would have looked 10 times better with the terrazzo sink than brass. It would have also kept it minimalistic, that whole design. It would have matched the color with the stones outside. That huge rock boulder that you have, it would have matched it better. This is what looks like gold. Again, you got it wrong. You got it right in the bathroom, wrong over here with the terrazzo.
Natural light is just flooding into all these different spaces in here so well. I love the sconces as well.
Look at this. What's there to love over here? What's there to like? You can find this in Home Depot. This is horrible. Horrible. So cheap. You had all those cool industrial lights and then you gave me something out of Lowe's or Home Depot.
So many little details you have to catch as you walk through here, as this home tells you its story. So look at this. The boulder, we're about to see this here in a moment, but just capturing it right here is just incredible.
Okay, let's talk about the boulder. This is what the famous shot of this house that I saw in the marketing material. I like the concept, but I think that was the whole inspiration behind this house. Very cool, good execution, good location to put it, but you should have pulled more inspiration from that. If you had other moments of this boulder throughout the house on a smaller scale, maybe a pile of stones in different sizes at different corners, maybe types of art that resembled this. Just one boulder and you're trying to do all your talking with one boulder in a, walkway. How often are you going to use this stairway going down? That's your only one time you're going to get some sort of emotion, some sort of sensory enjoyment in your life. Because the view was a 6 max.
So that's our side entrance to the carport. And again, all these doors all have their own keypad. So you have secure access and you can lock out and close in yourself safely every night. So this pivot door opens up and wraps around to what we just saw. Industrial open shelving to my left.
Oh my God. I mean, no children's allowed. That's for sure. You really limited your rental capacity over here. This is an adults only. I mean, this will freak any mom. I don't care how cool your wife is. She's gonna freak the hell out. Okay, you show this. Be like, no, I want to have my kids. I don't want to lose my kids to Mykonos, okay? I already lost my liver there. Or my virginity for that matter. Not my child. They put me in a position like this. I didn't ask for this. I didn't even see this video.
And of course, a skylight above, softening all those harsh, brutalistic lines here in this space. So this is my favorite bedroom, and we're already touring it this early in the tour.
Yeah, I love entering a bedroom through the bathroom. It makes me want to go. Horrible. Again, the funny thing is you've had all this land, It's a big parcel of land. And all you focused about is making the house invisible and not using anything else but concrete. Instead of maybe a little bit about the layout, maybe we could have just seen a wow factor for once when we walk into a space. No, enjoy the toilet.
People from all over the world flew here to make this happen. So you'll notice that oak that has been stained dark. Actually step over here so you guys can see the fixture that is also welcoming you as you come up this flight of stairs.
I like that light. It looks cool. See, that's fitting. And it's so funny because it is kind of a copperish color, isn't it? And I'm seeing it for the first time. It looks cool.
This wraps all the way around. And that light also follows the slope of this home. So you'll notice from a top-down view of this home, right? It blends into the topography and the slope of this home. But then it also just opens back up. It's like the actual home is just breathing and opening up to this view. But right here, we've got a walk-in shower with white marble wrapping every piece, followed up by your water closet, more of that white marble with that soft veining once again.
What happened? You got a shipment of marble coming into the island. This whole time you had no marble, and now you decided, you know what? I'm gonna not just introduce marble. I'm gonna do two different patterns, vertical and horizontal. You see, you gotta know what you're playing. Okay, what hand are you playing? And if you're playing it, what the hell is this? Then why didn't you introduce another material in the living room?
And then stepping straight out into the bedroom, we've got marble bedside tables on each side, and this wall is shared by those vanities. And I love the industrial lighting they have set up. You've got two chairs set up right here, your own private pool, and it's just so calm here. The weather is perfect, and just these incredible views. Nobody can build here, so you're gonna have this view for hundreds of years, just like it was millions of years ago. So it was so cool seeing this view, but the architect said his favorite view was actually this mountain right here. And if you want, you can get on top of this roof, walk around, it's all walkable.
See, I could have told you the architect had a few screws loose, because if that's your inspiration, you've reached a dark place, my friend. It's funny because that was your inspiration and you didn't even give me any element from that wall. The inspiration behind that mountain is the property lines. Well, like hundreds of years ago, these people who owned these parcels, they actually framed and walled their land. And these walls look super cool to me. And you could have incorporated that element and you didn't. So how, like, you stared at it for 6 months or a year, you were constructing this and this didn't inspire you? And that was your favorite part?
I love this elongated step, super cool vibe with the chrome, and it's so calm. It's so quiet here. We're in off season right now and it is dead silent.
So I haven't been to Mykonos in like 20 years. I think the only time I've been there was in 2005 or 2004, and it was really cool. But from what I hear, people who recently go, they say it's a zoo. It's like just everyone with their phones out and just taking pictures to say they've been there. The fact that this villa is actually outside that crazy zone, I'm actually think it's a benefit, because apparently, again, tell me if I'm wrong, but everyone who used to go to Mykonos like 20 years ago, 10 years ago, say it's just not the same island anymore.
But this path takes you all the way to the front of the home. So you can kind of go on like a mini adventure here on your own property. Notice all those soft tiles contrasting with this smooth concrete. Just so well done. You see that elevation change with the slope? That's why this is my favorite bedroom.
Oh my God, it's gonna get only worse. Are you serious? At least they had decent views. Again, 6.5 from this bedroom maybe.
But this staircase is just incredible. Look how it moves and just angles.
Look how you freaked the hell out and had to grab that wall to make sure you don't go down. Imagine like a 5-year-old or 6-year-old kid going down those stairs.
Stepping out of our first bedroom, I'm gonna take you guys to where we first began this tour. So this is another one of those monolithic pivot doors that we saw at the beginning of this tour, and another high traffic area just off the motor court and carport area. This bathroom can be easily missed just because it's smooth into the wall like the bedrooms that we're gonna see down below. But this bathroom is super large, so it goes into kind of this triangle here in the corner, but it's super long, and also the ceiling as well.
Oh my God, this is an interrogation room for the Secret Service of Mykonos. It does not give me any feeling for numero dos. It's more like a constipation feeling. It's not inspiring whatsoever.
Now we're gonna step downstairs and check out the rest of the bedrooms here in this space. So this is the big moment in this home. You've got the lighting, making this feel like it's floating, and then suspended above is that 6,600 pound boulder. And at the base, here we have the elevator access, and then down this hallway, you're gonna travel across this concrete rough terrazzo that we have on the floor. You're gonna notice more of these doors that either access to utility closets or more storage. So off to my left, here we have the kitchen. So we have these kind of vintage or mid-century chairs around this bistro table and the circular fixture illuminating above, open shelving.
Wow, what an inspirational place to cook in Mykonos. Invite your family over. Guys, I can't wait to cook you a branzino in Mykonos. This is so bad that your maid won't even want to cook over here. Your maid would be like, can I cook upstairs, please?
Open shelving and everything you might need in a little kitchen just off the staff quarters. But check out one of the bedrooms. So we have two of these completely mimicking each other, but we have two twin beds set just between.
This is not a bedroom. What are we on, a freaking like a sailing yacht? This is the crew quarters? You call this a bedroom? Dude, it needs a window. We're underground. You know we're in Mykonos, right? There's like the Mediterranean Sea there. There's food, there's culture. Why are we under the ground in a bunker? Who are we hiding from? Is there like a nuclear explosion somewhere that I don't know about? Why are we under the ground here?
Here in the bathroom, it's very quiet luxury in here.
Yeah, quiet because you're under a rock. You're under the ground.
This is another staff quarters room, same thing. And this is all kept away by another pivot door. So now we're gonna step into this showroom or this wine storage area. You'll notice each of these three pillars.
Oh my God, what happened over here? We went on a spaceship, guys.
With the perforation once again continuing that theme, it almost acts as a part of the structural integrity of this home. You can see you can just put your wine bottles right in there. And it's all backlit in that cylinder, just illuminating those circles. It's super cool. Then of course, you see the circular fixture and the shadowing that it's casting below. Again, letting what is essential speak for it. I think that's a really cool part.
Dude, what does essential always speaks? See, I hate these architects who make up shit. Like, come on. Don't hide behind ideas. Show me what you're made of. Don't hide behind concepts. Don't hide behind one-liners. Give me a feeling. You introduced a slab that had nothing to do with the rest of the house. It looks like you brought a freaking kitchen countertop from another project over here and you just hung it against the wall. And you call this a wine room? Are you serious?
Down here, another one of those staircases that just float and glow with that warm light that we saw earlier. And a cool thing about the theme in this home, it's very consistent, but down here, they add some playful touches. So each of these bedrooms that you're gonna notice out of the three have a completely new theme and vibe. So this one takes on that elegant vibe with this monolithic white marble structure.
What happened? You were all about the essentials. What happened, Mr. Architect? That the essential, like it's not essential over here. Now marble comes and speaks and brass. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I hate, oh my God.
Nice warm glow in here again. And the terrazzo turns from that rough to the smooth finish in here. So when you're walking around, everything's really nice to the touch. The mirror's also wrapped in more of that brass. And then behind me, we have a floor to ceiling mirror. And then just off the mirror, we have the water closet.
This is like what, the second or the third bedroom that you walk through the toilet before you get to the actual sleeping area. It's a theme here. You have to take a shit before going to bed. Only the essentials goes to the bed, okay? Leave the unessentials in the sewage before going to the bed.
But now looping around, we have this hallway shower, more of that white marble everywhere with the brass touches. And this wall is actually shared with the bedroom. So the headboard and this, again, very simple.
Where did this stone come from? See, you see what happened? Now there's a bunch of stuff happening. Okay, now we have concrete, terrazzo floors, natural wood, and stone. I wonder if this is the same stone that the walls were made out of. Okay, a little bit better. A little bit better. But again, there's something off. I don't think I would have contrasted the concrete with this. I would have taken the concrete all the way, would have kept the stone with this. Yeah, I think that's what I would have done, because it's three walls that are three different materials. There needs to be a dominant feature and there needs to be subdominant, like accents. Okay, right now you got three walls that are equally taking attention away. It just feels off to me.
The bedside tables are the same marble that's also used right here on this desk space with that raw edge. Another Tom Dixon fixture. And each of these doors in every single room are gonna have this soft curtain that drapes by and again diffuses that light, which all can be controlled by your bedside tables. All the buttons are there, because the worst thing is when you're laying in bed and all comfortable, having to get out of bed and like mess with a curtain or a light. So you can pull open each one of these doors, revealing more of the vertical slats, again diffusing the light, but letting some of that natural air come in.
Let's talk about the architectural style of this house. I like it. Architecturally, it does look beautiful. From the exterior, I like the facade, even though I think it could have been better. I don't want to put too much emphasis on the importance of this because as the owner, you'll be the one that doesn't get any benefit of it, right? All your neighbors will love it. People who come in, your guests will love it. But you who spends the most amount of time in the house, right? You only get the bragging rights, but you never actually get the enjoyment. I prefer the enjoyment, okay? But architecturally speaking, it's beautiful. I think modern done right, minimalistic style done right. They've really achieved that integration with the land. Obviously, they're having a live ceiling is super, super important. It comes with its downfalls for drainage and everything if it's not properly done. But overall, I love the lines. I think it's well executed.
Transitioning into this bedroom, another monolithic pivot door in black, and then this room takes on that organic vibe that we see outside all of these picture frame windows here. But the monolithic structure remains with this granite vanity, black touches this time, even on these inset mirrors.
This works so much better. Look at this. Look at that palette. This is your expectation. The fact that you went different colors and stuff tells me you were experimenting. You're getting in, you're like, let me see what sticks, right? This stuck. Like beautiful. Like you could have used that element, that color, that texture in the interior, in the living room, one of the back walls, one of the small, even a small accent wall, right? You could have been a tiny little wall. It would have made such a big difference in the whole vibe and energy. The whole point I was in the living room, I was looking for an answer. I was looking for an element, and the views are not that good. Like if you're relying on your views to do the delivery, sorry, buddy, not that good.
The walk-in shower, more black touches. And that can all be covered up by, again, this opaque perforated door. So now into the bedroom, just look at the shadowing once again from these vertical slats.
Do you see how this room plays out so much better? Do you see the balance when I say you can't give me 3 equally sized finishes in the other room? How it was like one wall was all wood, one wall was all stone, and one wall was concrete. Now look at this palette. Do you see how the stone wall is just an accent? And then you have combination of everything. It's such a way better balance, tapestry of color and textures that works so much better together. This room is by far my favorite room as far as execution of material and finishes. By far the best room.
There's just so many areas in this home where it's just so relaxing. Just imagine waking up here. You just have the curtains just flowing and just being woken up by the natural light as the sun rises just beyond these mountains. And looking through these windows, you're also going to begin to notice these stone terrace walls that keeps the herd together. And paying homage to that, bringing it back inside, is the spine of this home. So this actually travels 62 meters through the home, following the natural contour of the land.
See, it is the same stone, and it should have also been on the first floor, on the ground floor. Like they should have continued this theme. They should have brought that accent upstairs, 100%. It would have made a world of difference. And to me, the most important part, the living spaces, all those spaces were just so cold. They had no warmth to it.
And another sculptural, just minimalistic chair, very industrial once again. And moving along, we have more of that dark oak here in those built-ins. This isn't your average gym. So you step through another one of these black pivot doors into this showroom of a gym. It feels very crisp in here with these tube fluorescent lights above, and then you'll notice all the angled mirrors.
This looks like a place where you would grow marijuana. This is not a gym, dude. This is the hydrobubonic system over here, bro. You got it wrong. Check your notes. This is your indo. If he ain't indo, it's out though. This is where you would grow it. Horrible place for a gym. This is the last place when I'm in Mykonos I would want to lift some weights. Horrible. Oh, such a bad place to place a gym.
But you can kind of come over here and meditate and relax because you can actually control all the lighting here by a press of a button. So on this panel, you can just set the vibe up here, relax, meditate before you step out for the day.
Is she meditating? Why are we in the basement meditating? Dude, we're in Mykonos, dude. What are you doing? Are you crazy? Who came up with this idea? You've taken a whole wrong take on a brutalist, minimalistic architecture. Brutalist architecture, to me, it's something that it's loud, it's something that is strong, something that it showcases itself. It doesn't have to be depriving. It really doesn't have to be. It could be at the same time expressive, right? Awe-inspiring at the same time. Not just let me just suck everything out of you so you would feel like, the only argument if you go with that angle is like mental hospital and institutions should do brutalist architecture because everything else is a distraction.
And I want to step across because this is one of the coolest areas in this entire home. There's so many big moments, but this is just another one of them. So we go from that smooth concrete and that matte gray to more of this volcanic granite that we see in here. So it has this very monolithic feeling that it's carved out of granite, the circular drain, and then above the rainfall. And of course we have this warm slit just pushing light into this dark space.
Cool execution of a shower, but this could have been in your primary suite. Like, why is it in a bunker past a no window room, which is you calling your gym, and then at the end of it you come over here? Again, this is very odd. It just your placements. Like, this would have been a cool element to exercise, but somewhere in a primary suite, in a guest house, not the bathroom for the gym.
Off to my right, through another one of these pivot doors, you step into the sauna, steam room, and again, super dark and moody in here. You can hear the granite beneath your feet, and I love all the different angles in here and all the geometric shapes. You can sit here in different elevations.
I hate it. Okay, what type of architecture would best serve the land? Your lot is a huge element I speak about in my 5-day workshop. You have to understand what architectural style would amplify the benefits of your lot. And if you're in love with an architectural style, then find a lot, which we also cover how to buy a property in the 5-day workshop, that would amplify that architectural style. The brutalist, minimalistic architecture with a view property. When I'm in a sauna, I go to the sauna 5 times a week. Okay, I know about saunas, steam sauna, dry sauna. I'm a junkie for saunas. Okay, the number one thing I love about my sauna is looking out and looking at this beautiful plant in front of it, and I just stare at it, watch the leaves move, watch the wind, the sun hitting. You remember the sun hitting in your property? The sun hits in my property too. The shadow moving on the leaf. That's what I want when I'm in the sauna. Because otherwise I will feel like to pass the time when it's like freaking 95 degrees in there is to make sure like I'm focusing on something else. And you're giving me a cell in Mykonos. Like I could be arrested in a jail cell and have the same feeling. Why would I have to experience this in Mykonos?
We're now gonna take you guys into the last bedroom in this home, but there's a whole nother detached villa we still need to get to.
See, this is where I thought the spa would be. Detached from the main house, and you go through this whole experience under the rock. You pray on the rock before you go to the spa. No, it's another bedroom. I thought this is where they're gonna put the swimming pool, because the spa, because they had a swimming pool.
Now stepping around to the end of the hallway, another pivot door. And that granite continues on here against one large structure.
Okay, this is not as good as the last bathroom, but better than the, bronze bathroom they did earlier, right? Then the reason it's not as good as last one, it's missing that one extra material, which would have been natural wood. I really like these kind of vertical, how they stack these, volcanic rocks, whatever bricks they are. It gives that industrial look, brutalist. It's definitely in tune with the vibe of the house, but you still need some sort of a wood accent to really warm up this bathroom, and it's just really missing that.
And these are really unique. We have these little cylindric faucets that are coming from the actual ceiling. It's a really cool, unique look. And again, everything just feels very clean and purposeful.
By the way, this is another bedroom that you enter through the bathroom first. It's a total theme here.
And this all wraps around this dark wood. And this desk, just to lean into the monolithic structures, once again, we've been saying that word a lot throughout this tour, but this is just one solid piece.
Okay, let's talk about choice of material here. Again, in the shower, you have 3 different materials, right? If I'm not mistaken. one too many. In this room, yeah, two dominant features, stone and the volcanic bricks they had, a little bit of like concrete wall, right? Again, one too many. I think you need two accents, one dominant, okay?
Stepping out, we're gonna finally head down to this detached villa. More incredible views of the Aegean Sea, and of course, you see the islands just off in the distance. It's incredible. That turquoise water coming in from that deep blue is just stunning. You have these chairs set here for tanning and relaxing. And as we step down, you'll notice the landscaping and just how green it is and lush. And then off to my left, we do have an olive tree because we are in Greece, of course.
Like, couldn't we have another olive tree by the front door, a cactus? Again, this whole idea of like, let's keep it just the way it was. I don't buy that crap, okay? You just didn't want to spend money on landscaping. You can keep it minimalistic and still have one or two plant placements that are significant. When you give it one good piece and it's empty around it, it gives that one piece a more majestic power, but it also showcases the void around it also better, right? So you achieve a lot. It's way better than having complete void, right? One piece, it really signifies both the void and the one piece.
This is just an incredible moment. Going down these smooth concrete steps. And of course, you have the white plaster on each side, and you just see this boulder just suspended above your head, literally. I mean, it's just sitting on top of these concrete walls, and it also acts as shade. And I love the light as it moves throughout the day, just moves and dances across these steps.
It acts as shade. Thank you. You just take a break there. Just stand there for 20 minutes.
Into our final detached villa. So this has no dead zones in here, so you can go right, left, and has a very commanding feeling here with all this perforated metal here in the closet that wraps around. It's very geometric in here as well, as we have two twin vanities, very heavy granite side by side with more of these industrious cylindric tubes that come from the ceiling.
Oh my God. The bathroom is like the first thing that you see in every single bedroom. I like the copper finish there. I think it's cool. This bathroom is kind of in the middle as well. See, another element that you could do in a brutalist architecture is having an indoor plant. Bring in something, bring in life. It would not ruin the architectural style. A plant somewhere in this bathroom, in this property, indoor plants, cactus, something would have brought so much life to this property.
And then as we walk down almost into the bedroom, the headboard of this bed actually is shared with this hallway of a shower. Dark and moody once again. And if I were to walk around, again, no dead zones. You can see this bed. On each bedside table, we have these very industrial bedside tables, Tom Dixon fixtures on each side with a control panel. The floor lamps, again, everything is kind of leaning into each other and complementing each other. And I love how everything's so seamless and flush, and again, sourced here in Greece.
Okay, let me tell you guys what I liked about the property, what I didn't like about the property. But before I tell you that, if you want to join the 5-day workshop, click on the link before. I'm having one in June. It's going to be awesome. Here's what I liked about it. The architectural style of the property from the exterior. I thought it was really cool. I like the integration with the land. I really think there was not much to fix as far as just, landscaping to make it a little bit, just a few plants. I'm not asking much here. But on the inside, I hated the wow factor. I thought it was a huge missed opportunity because the approach was so clever and the way the property revealed itself. I really thought I was going to get just banged, right? This is a view property. You've worked so hard. You did your facade, that whole mysterious, oh my God, it's in the mountain. And then you had to release it. You just gave me a, pillar in the middle. Not cool. Finishes on the inside were horrible. It did not match. Who was the interior designer on this project did not match the architectural style of the house. Or maybe if it was one firm doing it, they were way better on the architectural side than interior finishes wise, because it was extremely poor. It was very bare bone in the places where it shouldn't have been. And when they tried to bring material, they just didn't know what combination of textures and colors to bring where. They were experimenting in a lot of ways. It rarely ever worked. Okay. The spa was horrendous. It was a crime to come to Mykonos and go to that spa. That would be the last place I would want to spend any time in. Overall, I think the location is kind of being secluded, matched the architectural style. But if you want to see another modern architecture done horribly wrong, watch this video. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.